G'day everybody, thanks for coming along this evening. It's an exciting time here for the Charter as we launch into an incorporated society today and consider how we continue to lift health and safety performance here in Canterbury right now and into the future. Tonight we'd just like to put a sound out to our sponsors, Navigatus. Navigatus, they build our assessment tools for us and provide other IT things behind the scenes to the Charter, so thank you to them. We'd also like to thank Placemakers Riccarton for sponsoring tonight, and we have the National Health and Safety Manager from Placemakers here from Auckland today. Put your hand up. So yeah, welcome to you. And apparently Placemakers have got 50% off everything today. So place your orders. Thanks, guys. Don't tell Grant Close I said that. So just going through our outline for today, we're going to have a bit of a look back at what we've done in 2017. We'll give you an update on that activity and more. We will welcome the new signatories tonight, and there's more of those, and we're really pleased about that. And then later on, Jo, a lot of you will know Jo Pugh she's the General Manager of Assessments for WorkSafe, and Jo's going to give us the outcomes of the evaluation that was done recently on the performance of the Canterbury Rebuild Program and the results for health and safety there. Then later on, we're going to have something quite neat. It's a panel session, and there's about 5 different people who are going to give us a presentation, and we'll talk more about that later and what that involves. And then after that, we're going to wind up and have our usual drinks and nibbles and networking together. So thanks again to the sponsors. We appreciate the drinks and the nibbles. Just before we get going, and look, a bit of a sombre note, we just want to acknowledge the passing of Bernard McElhone, and I know a lot of you will know Bernard and have attended his funeral and be aware of his passing. As we learnt at his funeral, Bernard was a man of many, many accomplishments. In particular to us, Bernard was instrumental in setting up and managing Safe Rebuild, who were a very, very close partner and friend of the Charter, so to speak. Bernard's leadership and management was a pivotal factor in the success of Safe Rebuild, and the image here shows Alan Clarence from ETU talking about Bernard and congratulating him on everything he achieved with Safe Rebuild. Bernard and his team, they've worked with thousands and thousands of people in small Canterbury construction and businesses from all parts of this industry. And many of us at the Charter have worked closely with Bernard, and the ties between the Charter and the Safe Rebuild team were very, very strong. Bernard was a big supporter of the Charter, and many of you here tonight will have come to the Charter through having come through Safe Rebuild. So, you know, in the last few years, there's been a lot of people that have gone home safe and healthy in Canterbury because of Bernard's work, and we just want to take a moment to acknowledge his passing and the loss to his family and many close friends, particularly those here in the union movement, and the significant contribution Bernard has made to New Zealand. Thank you. So looking back at 2017, it's been a real transition period for the Charter as we set up the incorporated society and set the work program in place for us to be sustainable and relevant and add value to our industry as we go forward. In 2017, we had 2 sold-out Women in Construction events. These were held in partnership with Safe Rebuild. And they were fantastic events, and they were oversubscribed to. And as we develop the next year's program, we're looking at what else we can do to support diversity in the workplace. These particular events were finalists. They were nominated finalists in the 2017 Health and Safety Awards, which the Charter was also a finalist in, and we won a couple of awards. So good recognition to those events. They were very, very successful. Throughout the year, we've also established 2 new working groups, and these groups are still in their formative stages. And these groups will allow the Charter to have an increased focus on health and safety reps and also professional services from our architects and engineers and other upstream providers. And we've also got a 3rd working group in its infancy, which is the Health and Safety Practitioners Group. And some of you here tonight have attended that seed session, if you like, and we do really hope that group is going to come on and form their own working group, because the practitioners are so important. These are the people that interpret the Act and bring it to site and put it into practice. And you practitioners have such an influential role in the culture and the development of health and safety. So, strength to you, and we really hope that group comes together and succeeds. The Charter has been working with some other key senior national construction leaders, including members of SiteSafe and the Construction Safety Council, to improve sector leadership. Hopefully you'll hear more about the progress in this space before Christmas. And the big grunt behind this is to try and streamline things for what we do in our practices on sites. Many of us go to multiple sites and we hear many, many versions of the truth, and we share many, many different templates, and we want to kind of do away with that. But it's so important that industry bodies, trainers, organisations all come together collaboratively to make that happen. So that works in play, and I think that's going to be a great help. SiteSafe. SiteSafe have been working with key commercial construction companies in Queenstown and Wanaka to help develop the Central Lakes Safety Charter. And this is something we're really, really happy about, and we've offered our posters and our toolbox talks to badge and make their own. And the exciting thing for us all here is this is part of this legacy dream that the Charter's had. And there's a lot of support nationally from WorkSafe and parts of the industry to keep this Charter alive, because people like the Central Lakes Charter are coming to us and taking the good parts and bits and pieces from us to develop and emulate into their own Charter. And what we do here in Canterbury is going to be different to Auckland, Wellington and Central and these other areas. But because we've become a really good model of practice, we can now lend and borrow out, and I'd like to charge some people for it, but they can take our resources and form their own charters and improve health and safety in their sectors. So we're extremely proud that that's happening. And the reason that's happening is because of you. Because as members of this charter, you've joined up, you've made your commitment, and you've been involved in the working groups and the workshops and all those other things. And all the stuff that comes out of there is because of you and your involvement and your feedback. So thank you for that. And just be aware that what you're doing here is making an impression on the rest of New Zealand. And that's a good thing and something to be proud of. So thank you. Okay, a wee bit of an activity update. We now have been launched as an incorporated society with a new name, the Canterbury Safety Charter. It won't make a great deal of change for you as a member. Everything will still be available, the resources, the tools that we have, and new events like this will all keep coming. What it does mean is we've now got a more formalised governance structure, and we've just had our first board meeting, and I'm going to introduce the board to you. And I feel that we're extremely lucky and blessed to have this board because it's full of people, senior leaders, business owners, and people that have been very, very successful in their own right. And we've now got these people lending their brains and abilities to our governance to make sure that we're going to work well and perform well and have got a good solid future behind us. So just quickly, as I introduce the board member, please stand up and give us all a wave. So we've got Ian Campbell from McConnell Dowell, Christina Wisnowski from Higher Access, Richard Holyoake from Becker, Sarah O'Connell from Triax, Richard Wagstaff, Richard's not present, from the NZCTU, and Craig Singelow from WorkSafe. A lot of you will know Craig and been involved in many meetings with him. I'm just going to call Craig out at the moment. He doesn't know I'm doing this, but Craig has just had a national role bestowed on him. Craig's now the sector lead for construction in New Zealand, and congratulations, Craig. It's a position well deserved, so well done, mate. We're also making really, really good progress on our appointment of a charter manager. So by the end of November, early December, we hope to have in place our charter manager, supporting our current charter officer, Libby, and also a part-time administration charter officer as well. So those things are in play. All the recruitment processes and all those things are going really, really well. And we're pretty excited about the candidates we've got in front of us and how that's going to look very, very, very soon. So those announcements will be made formally and everybody will be made aware of how that looks. Finally, before we move on, I'd just like to acknowledge the wonderful work of Graham Darlow. Graham was the chair of the Charter Steering Group ever since it was established. And last year, Graham won the Executive Leader of the Year for New Zealand Workplace Health and Safety. This award acknowledged Graham's personal contribution to the success of the Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter. Graham has been a real key ingredient for the Charter's success. He's been able to give us really good, solid, visible leadership and bring people, like-minded people, along the journey with him. Graham's also been able to steer through the waters, bringing together industry, government and unions, getting those people in the same room, putting their differences aside and getting together as a cohesive group. And thanks for that, Graham. It's no easy task, and you've navigated those waters very, very well for us. So, and a lot of the work you've done has been based in consultation, but the key thing is it's been delivered against. So thank you very much, Graham. So, excellent. And one more thank you we'd like to give Graham. Graham, at our last steering group meeting, graciously accepted to be the patron of the Canterbury Safety Charter. So well done, and thanks for that too, Graham. Awesome. Okay. Now I'd like to officially welcome our new charter signatories today. There's been 11 new ones since our July event, which now gives us over 370 signatories in total. And add that into the over 50 endorsees, it's a great demonstration of how well we're growing. And we've had a consciousness of the Charter as we're morphing through into the incorporated society with our work program and other things have taken a wee bit of a back seat. So the fact we're still getting new signatories coming and getting on board while we're in this wee bit of a lull, we're very, very pleased about that. And we're pleased that our members are encouraging like-minded people to come here and join the Charter. So that's fantastic. We've also got a good range of different businesses in these new signatories. So I'm going to ask the following people to come forward. There's a couple of signatories that couldn't make it tonight, but I will still mention them. And I'd ask if you would hold off the applause until the whole group has been presented to you. So first up, I'd like to call the following people to come through. Moonlight Landscaping, Crystal Gempton. Lime Scaffold, Justin Usendorf. D&G Construction, Dean Ingalls. Hubbard's Floor and Furnishings, Catherine Thompson-Bush. Hazmat Contamination, Shane Blakely. Underground Overground Archaeology, Cursor Webb. Mega Clean, Shaz Rowlands. Shaz told me she was very nervous today, so don't pick on her or call her out. That's her with the glasses. Thanks, Shaz. Klein and Benny Plumbing and Drainage, Martin de Gow. So I'd just like to give a bit of a round of applause for our new signatories. Yeah. Well done, guys. Welcome on board. We'll get some photos there for you. And I think as you leave the stage, there's room for you to sign. There should be a board there with your logo. That'll be wonderful. We also have one new endorsee tonight from Optimal Safety Solutions, Tania Curtin. Is Tania here? Oh, damn, I was going to call her out and ask her to stand up and tell us what she does. But anyway, Tania's now on board as an endorsee, and welcome to Tania. Awesome. Thank you.